Hi everyone. In this session, let us discuss about DC characteristics of operational amplifier. Now, here these are the 4 DC characteristics of operational amplifier which we generally discuss. One is input bias current, second one input offset current, third one input offset voltage, and fourth one thermal drift. Now, in this session, let us discuss about the input bias current. What is input bias current? What is the effect of this input bias current? And how to reduce the effect of this input bias current using some compensation technique, that is called bias current compensation. Okay. Now, let us discuss about this topic. Here, let us see what is input bias current. Input bias current is the average of two bias currents flowing into the non-inverting and inverting inputs of operational amplifier. Input bias current is the average of two input bias currents flowing into the two terminals of operational amplifier. Now let us see. Here this is our operational amplifier, two terminals, whereas IB minus and IB plus are the two bias currents flowing through that operational amplifier. Now here if you see this figure, here this is a differential amplifier which is constructed by using two transistors. Usually we know the biasing technique. During biasing is the process of setting the transistor parameters initially in order to amplify the output properly from the transistor. So, in this biasing process, some current will be flowing through the base of transistor, which is called biasing current. Ideally, if two transistors, here in this differential amplifier, this is differential amplifier. In this differential amplifier, we are using transistor 1 and transistor 2. Now, for these two transistors, there will be a little amount of biasing current flowing through these two transistors. If it is an ideal one, the two biasing currents will be equal. And internally there is no current flowing through the operational amplifier also. Input current will be equal to 0. So, IB plus and IB minus are the two bias currents flowing through the transistors. Even though those are identical transistors, the two biasing currents will be different a little bit. Now, coming to the operational amplifier, IB minus and IB plus are the two bias currents. Even though it is ideal, the input current drawn by the operational amplifier will be 0, but practically it is not the case. Practically little amount of biasing currents will be flowing through the op-amp, and these biasing currents which results a little magnitude of output voltage even though the applied input signal is 0. What I am saying is, for example, if it is an operational amplifier, that to a differential amplifier, if you are not applying any voltage, we are not applying any voltage, that is V1 is equal to 0 and V2 is equal to 0, and internally there is no current flowing through it, I1 is equal to 0 and I2 equal to 0. But still, if you are not applying any voltage, because of these biasing currents IB minus and IB plus, some voltage will be appeared across this output terminals of operational amplifier. That is all because of this input bias current. Okay. So, this is the unwanted voltage which we need to reduce, or which we make it to 0. Which we want to make it to 0. Okay. So, input bias current is the current flowing through the two terminals of operational amplifier due to biasing of transistors. because this operational amplifier is made with two transistors, two identical transistors. So hence we can define this input bias current of a differential amplifier or operational amplifier is the average of two bias currents of the operational amplifier as IB plus IB minus by 2. This is the averaging current. Now, for example, let us see. Here, the operational amplifier input is a differential amplifier which is made up of transistor. For an ideal op amp, there should be no current flowing through the input terminals. But because of biasing, some base currents are flowing through the two input terminals, whereas IB plus and IB minus, that's what we have discussed. So, even though both transistors are identical, but IB plus and IB minus are not exactly equal due to a little bit imbalance internally for the transistor. So, definitely IB plus and IB minus both are not equal. So, what are these bias currents which are specified by the manufacturers itself? So, the magnitude of bias currents will be decided by the manufacturer itself, and the value of these bias currents will be very less. These are few nanoamperes to and few microamperes. Few nanoamperes to few microamperes. Now, let us see. What is this bias current and what is the effect of this bias current here? So, as we discussed, IB minus and IB plus are the two bias currents flowing through the op amp, which results in little bit of voltage, output voltage. Okay. Now, let us see. Here, VI is the input voltage to the non-inverting terminal, and here also I am not applying any voltage. For example, this is V1 and V2. I am not applying any voltage. Both voltages are equal. Then what should be the output of my differential amplifier? Definitely V0 should be equal to 0. Okay. But this is not happening because of this input bias current. This is not happening because of input bias current. So, what is happening? This input bias current, which causes to create some drop that is appearing across the output terminal. For example, here this is my virtual ground. Let IB minus is the current flowing through it. Here there is no voltage, and here also there is no voltage. This is ground. Okay. Then what is my output? V0 is equal to some IB minus into RF, the feedback resistance, because this is the voltage. Here, if you see, V0 is the output voltage across this feedback resistance, internally at this point. Between these 2 points is the output voltage. Because this is grounded, here it is also grounded. So, output voltage is voltage across this branch, right? So, V0 is my IB into RF, IB minus into RF. So, because of this little bit magnitude of current, bias current, some voltage, for example, if it is 10 microampere, 10 nanoamperes or 10 microamperes of current into, if it is 10 ohms, then what will happen? 100 microvolts will be appeared at the output terminal. So, even though we are not applying any voltage, that is V1 and V2 both are equal to 0, we are experiencing some voltage, that is some 100 microvolts as output. This is all because of this biasing current. Okay, so that's why this is the unwanted voltage appeared at the output terminal due to this biasing current, even if we are not applying any voltage. Okay, so for that what we want to do, we need to compensate this effect of biasing current. So let us see bias current compensation. Okay, So let us discuss about this bias current compensation. For that, what I am doing, this is our actual circuit previously what we have taken, but in addition to that I am going to consider a resistor called compensating resistor or comp is connected to the non-inverting terminal. So this car compensation resistor is going to compensate the effect of bias current. So that's why it is called bias current compensation. Now let us see how it is going to compensate. Okay, so see, just watch the circuit once. This is Vi. I am not applying any voltage to the non-inverting terminal. I1 is the current flowing through internal resistance. V1 is the voltage across compensating resistor. This is IB plus. It is already given, and here it is IB minus, and whereas I2 is the current flowing through compensating resistor, and this is point A and this is point B. Okay, already we have seen VA and VB. VB is the voltage at point B. V0 is the output voltage. This is V0. V0 is the output voltage. Now let us analyze this circuit. Here, see, in this circuit, we know the difference of, because there is no current flowing through the two terminals. So because of virtual short, VD will be equal to 0. That means VA is equal to VB. Voltage at point A is equal to voltage at point B due to virtual short. So here we can write what is the compensating resistor voltage. V1 is equal to IB plus into R compensation. Okay, this is V1. V1 is equal to IB plus into R compensation resistor. So here just let us apply KVL at this particular loop. Here what I am doing here, I am applying, this is virtual short. This is virtual short. Here it is V1 and this is my V0. Here it is ground V0. Now here in this, through this loop, I am going to apply KVL. Now if we apply KVL, how many branches are there? It is plus 2 minus and it is minus 2 plus, and this is plus minus. Here it is my ground, it is minus. Okay, now 4 voltages are there. Just I am writing the KVL equation. It is minus 2 plus, so it is, sorry, it is plus 2 minus, it is minus V1, and VD is equal to 0. This voltage VD is equal to 0, and then it is minus 2 plus, so plus V2, and here it is plus 2 minus, so minus V0 is equal to 0. This is my KVL equation. So minus V1 plus 0, V2 minus V0 is equal to 0. Just I am writing the equation. So it is minus V1 plus 0 plus V2 minus V0 is equal to 0. Okay, now from this, what is V0? V0 is equal to V2 minus V1. Just from this equation, if we rearrange, V0 is equal to V2 minus V1. And from the circuit itself, we have seen that it is minus plus. Here I am applying a compensating resistor, whereas this is minus plus, where the voltage across this is V1. Okay, then what is V1? V1 can be written as, the current flowing through this is IB plus. So V1 can be written as IB plus into compensating resistor. Okay, so from this we observe, from this equation 2, our V0 is equal to V2 minus V1, whereas V2 is the voltage across feedback resistor, V1 is the voltage across compensating resistor. So my intention is, some voltage is appeared across the output of differential amplifier due to biasing current. So I need to make this voltage to 0. So V2 is depends on feedback resistance, it is fixed. So this is my compensating resistor. Using this compensating resistor, I can adjust the voltage V1 in such a way that V0 value will be equal to 0. Okay, so definitely by using this compensating resistor, I can change the voltage V1 in such a way to make my output voltage equal to 0 due to this effect of bias current. So that's why it is called bias current compensation. So for that, let us see the analysis. Now due to the virtual ground, the voltage at point A is equal to V1. So from the circuit, here we can see the circuit, the voltage at this point VA is nothing but V1, because this is virtual ground. If this voltage at this point is V1, this is V1. So voltage at point A is also V1. So VA is equal to V1 itself. Okay. So VA can be written as VA is equal to I1 into R1. VA is equal to I1 into R1. So I1 can be written as VA by R1. VA by R1 is nothing but V1 by R1. Okay. So what I1 can be written as V1 by R1. So I1 can be written as V1 by R2. Similarly, I2 can be written as V2 by RF, because if this is the transistor, here this is my RF, V0, RF. Here this is the current flowing through this I2. Then I2 can be written as voltage across this is V2. Then V2 can be written as I2 into RF. Then I2 will be equal to V2 by RF. Okay. This I2 can be written as V2 by RF. Then I1 is V1 by R1. I2 is V2 by RF. So we need to make V0 should be equal to 0. So if V0 is equal to 0 means V1 minus V2 is equal to 0. That is V1 should be equal to V2. So if you equate those two, V1 equal to 0, V1 equal to V2, then what is our I2? I2 will be V2 by RF. Then instead of V2, just I am substituting V1. So both are equal. I2 is also V1 by R1. Okay. I2 is V2 by RF. Then instead of V2, we can substitute V1. Then we know that bias current IB is equal to, here you see the bias current, this is IB. I1 is coming like this and feedback current I2 coming like this. This is I1 and this is I2 and this is my IB minus. So at this point, if you apply KCL, we have IB minus is equal to I1 plus I2. Okay. Then I am writing IB minus equal to I1 plus I2. Then just I am substituting I1 and I2. V1 by R1, V2 by RF. But as we know that V2 is equal to V1, hence V1 by RF plus V1 by R1. So both are equal, V1 equal to V2. So then IB minus equal to, I am taking V1 as common, then 1 by R1 plus 1 by RF. On taking LCM, we have R1 RF by R1 plus RF by R1 RF. Then as we know that if it is an ideal one, IB plus should be equal to IB minus, but there is a little bit difference between the two. Then if IB plus equal to IB minus, then IB minus is this V1 into R1 RF by R1 plus RF, and already we have written V1 is equal to IB plus into R comp. Okay. Then what is IB plus? IB plus can be written as V1 by R comp. That's what I have written. This is IB minus using the previous expression, and this is IB plus. Usually both should be equal. Now from this we can write R compensation value will be is equal to R1 RF by R1 plus RF. Okay. So what is R1? R1 is the input resistance, RF is the feedback resistance, and R1 plus RF will be equal to the value of compensation resistance. What it means? We are connecting a compensating resistor to the non-inverting terminal in order to make the bias current effect to 0, not to make the bias current effect to 0 at the output voltage. In order to make this output voltage 0, to avoid the effect of this bias current, I am using this compensating resistor. This compensating resistor value, it depends on these two parameters, the input resistance and feedback resistance. Okay, so in this way, by using this compensating resistor, we can reduce the effect of bias current on the output voltage. Okay, thank you.